Time for your Subway Choice moment. One of the biggest storylines heading into the Super Bowl, a looming contract extension for Tom Brady. I mean, he will be in the Super Bowl for the third year in a row, the 9th time in 18 seasons, and he is entering the final year of his deal next season. But he is 41, and he wants to play till he's 45. Robert Kraft was asked about extending Brady's deal. Here's what he had to say.
Well, think about it. The last 3 years, we've been privileged to go to the Super Bowl with a quarterback in place. I would be quite surprised if he didn't continue for quite a while as our quarterback.
The reality is I don't think many people thought I would be playing like this, even though I had a great belief that I would. And, I think, RKK has always supported me in my beliefs and thoughts. And, that's why we have a great relationship.
Coach, it's hard to talk about whether a quarterback should be given a contract extension when he's led the team to the Super Bowl, but this is Tom Brady. We know where he's playing at what point in his career. Do you think he should get a contract extension?
Well, extension. Well, what do we mean by extension? He's under contract for next year. Are we saying that we're going to extend it 1 year? Or are we saying we're going to extend it 3 years?
Well, he wants to play until he's 45, and he's made that very clear.
No, I totally get what he wants. But one of the things that always has marked New England is their ruthless efficiency and their ability to look at older players and say, it's time to move on. So whether it was Richard Seymour with the trade or Mike Vrabel with the trade or any number of historic Patriots players.
Malloy, the couple days before the season.
Yeah, so there is, and you need to have that. It's not comfortable to talk about. It's not comfortable when it happens, but from a business perspective, they've always done that really well. So an extension may take the form of 1 additional year, and then it's at what price? Is he still? I don't see it being as the highest paid guy in the league. So maybe it's a little bit of a bridge year to make it look better, and more of a year-to-year type thing.
Why would Brady agree to that? Why would Brady, if Brady wants to play till he's 45, and he's made that clear, and Brady also is still playing at a high level, even if he's not league MVP like he was last year, why would he, go ahead, see?
Oh, I'm answering.
Oh, okay. Why would he do anything other than say, guys, if you want me to keep playing under market value, I want an extension so it's my last extension. 3 additional years that lines up to 45, which is what I want. Otherwise, I'll play out next year, and you guys be in the position where you got a franchise tag me.
Well, what Brady is saying when he wants to say, I want to play here in New England, he's also saying, I want to play the New England way. He's not going to say, oh, just because I'm coming back to play, I want it to be different. Because this is what I know is going to happen. RKK, he loves Tom Brady. But Bill Belichick has control of the roster. So there could still be a problem here if Brady tries to change how they're going to do things, because RKK has already changed that when they traded Garoppolo. They've already altered the plan for Brady to exit already. So now Bill Belichick still has control of that roster. So I'm with Coach Mangini. Like, regardless of what the other players, Aaron Rodgers, Kirk Cousins, although they don't have anything to do with New England and how they decide to do business. So I look at them adding 2 more years to the 1 year that they already have. But Belichick still is going to have the power over that roster at the end. Tom Brady's not going to be making the calls as far as, I'm going to do this, this, and this. I would doubt that highly seriously that Belichick would agree to that with the Krafts.
And Tom's personality isn't one to say, you need to franchise me, or what's he going to do? Go somewhere else? He wants to be a Patriot, and the whole rule is whoever cares least in negotiations wins. I mean, that's just the way it works. And what leverage do you have when you don't want to leave? You're going to be there. And then what leverage do you have when you want your legacy to be what it should be, as this selfless guy who always took less for the betterment of the team? So now to take a hard line at 42, I don't think.
I guess my point is, I don't think it would be a hard line to say I'm still going to be playing for half my market value.
But it's not that important to him. Winning championships is the most important thing to him. Making money is not the most important thing.
Totally agree, which is why his give would be, if I wanted to all of a sudden, for the first time in my career, say, I want to have on my resume, I was the highest paid player in the league, my play has earned it, that would be a departure from who he's been. He literally this year made $14 million. The best quarterbacks in the league, highest paid guys, made 28 plus. So he played for half his market value. Is it not a fair negotiating point to say, I will continue to do that, continue to give you the cap flexibility? Can you do me the service of this next contract I sign, it's my last one? Not that we have to do this a 1-year extension, then we're talking about this again a year from now, and if things go the way he wants, a year after that.
I don't see Belichick guaranteeing a player $20 million 3 years from now, and that player is going to be 44. It would be a departure of what he believes football is. So Tom Brady, yes, he wants to play, but he wants to play the Patriot way. It's not as if he's decided like he got leverage to be able to go somewhere else. He's already removed that by saying, I want to be here.
And the other big part of any negotiation is precedent. So you look at the precedent of deals, and there really is no precedent to draw from because you don't have a 42-year-old quarterback who's playing at a high level. So you've got to look at, okay,
you might be able to go back and draw some information from Drew Brees, what he did with the Saints, because he just recently signed a contract extension.
Yeah, and that one is that's what Brady's side should go to. Because that contract is
$30 million.
Yeah, it's so swollen. But at the end of the day, you heard what he said to Brandon Spikes when Brandon Spikes were talking about not getting the Pro Bowl and upset. He's like, look, we don't play for that. We play for rings. And in order to give them the best chance for another ring, there needs to be money for other people, and it's a zero-sum game. You can't, it's not unlimited
It's
money.
a hard cap, of course.
Everything about this whole situation has been unprecedented. We talk about the Bill Belichick, he's the one that controls the roster, and yet Garoppolo got sent to San Francisco, when really, if this was anyone else, he would have stayed there, been groomed, and he would have taken over. Is this the same conversation if they give him a 1 or a 2 year and they don't make the playoffs next year? Suddenly, are we having this conversation again? Would we be having it now if they weren't in the Super Bowl right now?
Look, if Tom Brady loses the first game next season, or he throws 2 picks in the first game, there'll be certain people that'll talk about, how just certain people will jump to these conclusions that he's done. So yeah, we're always going to be talking about when the demise is coming, and it's a fair conversation. He's 42 years old, and this is uncharted waters, but to lock him in for 3 to 4 or 5 years just doesn't make good business
sense.
And
again, I'm not advocating you lock him in for 4 or 5 years. I just think that, at some point, and this is, I understand the labor part of me, at some point, the player can't always be the one making all the concessions. I would argue
that's not true. This is just the way you want it, Nick. That's not true. Tom Brady has done it a different way, and in New England, it's worked. And we shouldn't change just because our philosophy, labor, our player, or whatever. We shouldn't change that. What Tom Brady wants. Tom Brady doesn't care that much about
it. He doesn't care that much about the money. He clearly cares about playing until he's 45. So if he's sacrificing the money, I would say I would like a contract that takes me till I'm 45.
But Nick, everybody who goes to New England makes concessions.
Yeah.
You consistently see stars that were acted one way at a different team goes to New England and makes a concession. There's coaches, there's players that make concessions on contracts, and the reason you do it is because at the end of the day, you want to win, and part of your salary.
And at the end of the day, you trust the guy who's got the money, that they're going to do the right thing to be able to get you to your 10th Super Bowl, to your 11th Super Bowl. So that money, to me, it's irrelevant based on his legacy and the relationship that they currently share.
All right, Coach, thanks. Got to take a break. Coming up, did Kobe have a better career than LeBron? That's still ahead on First Things First.